Hey, this is Dr. Flight. I hope you're doing great. I'm putting together this short video just to touch base with you in the middle of the week here. This is a video to wrap up week number 8 and to preview week number 9 in MBA 631, Marketing Strategy. So we're wrapping up week number 8. As you know, this week is one of our weeks where we pause our content so that you can focus on project. Your project work stage 2 is due this week. Also this week, because we pushed back the deadline for the case 2, that was due this week as well. So you really had a lot. I recognize that even though we didn't add content, I know you all were very busy with the deliverables in this course. The case, the Frito-Lay Harvest Sun case, is an interesting one. There's a lot of information packed into that case where you're thinking about, should they launch it? Should they not? If they do launch it, what will the mix look like? What will the marketing mix look like? What type of product it'll have? It's got a long history. They've tried to launch it a couple more times, and one of the big takeaways in that case is that when they launched it or tried to look into it in the past, the product market really wasn't ready for the health chip yet. It hadn't been developed yet. The market need wasn't really there. And the question is now, at the time of the case, of course, is the market established? Is it strong enough now to warrant a product in that category, which would return a sizable market share in sales to make the project worthwhile? So that's kind of the question. That's the underlying question that it really deals with. And so I'm excited to see what you wrote and where we go with that. Again, those cases involve an enormous amount of information, and so the goal is to synthesize that information and incorporate it in the decisions that you make. So that's what I'll be looking for quite a bit on. If you can incorporate, and you should look to incorporate, course concepts into your decision making as well. The cases are sometimes holistic in the sense that it deals with a lot of issues all at once, some of which we've covered and some we have not. But these are realistic examples of what marketing managers deal with and the decisions that they have to make. And if you were in those shoes, what would you do, and how would you process that information? So cases deal a lot with idea and information processing and how you organize your thoughts and then communicate them. So it's as much training in that aspect of things as it is actual book knowledge, I guess, if you will. And so anyways, I hope you had fun with that. I hope that was a good experience. I'm looking forward to reading those this week. The second component was the stage 2 of the group project, and again, you may be working on that now. I've provided an outline, and I've had a couple groups reach out to me for feedback and information, which I'm more than happy to do. So not all groups do this, and then they're surprised with not really fulfilling the assignment. And I don't know why they don't reach out, but if your group is struggling or you're not sure what to do, then I'm here as a resource always. So that's kind of week 8 in a nutshell, kind of what we're doing this week. Again, we're not adding new content, but certainly keeping ourselves pretty busy with other things. As we do a preview of week 9, we're going to be in chapter 7. And so we look at chapter 7. This is all about learning more about and understanding market segmentation. And this chapter is really, and the material I provide is really focused on 2 fundamental concepts. One would be the idea of breaking up a big market of consumers into smaller groups of segments or market segments or groups of consumers who have things in common as they relate to their needs and the wants and how they will react to our marketing changes. That's how one of the things we look for. We look to differentiate our brand, we look to differentiate our products, but importantly, when we evaluate market segments, we're dealing with how consumers react to a change in marketing activities or our 4Ps or strategy, and grouping those consumers together as in multiple little groups. So that's the one thing. When we do the segmentation process, we create a thing called a segment profile. So that's something to take away from this chapter that you need to be aware of. And then the second part of the chapter deals with positioning. And positioning, again, it's a very heavily data-driven process where we collect a bunch of data on our market segments and their perceptions of our brand. Also, we collect data on different attributes and features of our product and service that are important to the customer, and then we compare and contrast, and we create, ultimately it usually comes down to creating some type of a perceptual map to help us understand the strategy that we'll use to move forward and to, again, alter our marketing mix so that it reflects the perceptions that are important to the customer, the attributes that are important to the customer in the marketplace. And so there are, again, there's a perceptual mapping technique, which is pretty straightforward. It's, again, data driven, where we collect data and then we apply it and map that data in a Cartesian plane. There's also a couple other techniques that are multivariate techniques called multidimensional scaling and correspondence analysis. And perceptual maps are incredibly limited in that you can only use 2 to 3 product attributes at a time to compare brands and compare strategy, whereas MDS, multidimensional scaling, and correspondence analysis allow you to use many variables or many attributes simultaneously, and they create a vector to be able to map more accurately many different dimensions, not just 2 or 3. And so that's something to think about and to be aware of. We have I think a great story where it comes to a children's game called Looping Louie. This is a popular press article, and it's the basis for our reflection this week. What happened? Well, you'll read what happened, but the product came out. It was intended for one market, but another market took it over and started buying it, and the product became a success in the second market, which was completely unintended. And so one of the questions is, what happens when a product gets misappropriated by a market segment? And in this case, the market segment's they don't go together. The market segment it was intended for and the one it actually succeeded in don't coexist. And so that could be a challenge for this company moving forward if they wanted to introduce the product into other areas, other geographic spaces and such. Okay, so that's, again, it's kind of an interesting idea. I really want you to focus on the concept of market segments when it comes to that. There are some supplemental readings that are available if you would want to learn more about some of this. The customer analysis chapter, it's actually not entitled Customer Analysis. It's analytical attributes or analytical approaches to introducing perceptual maps. It's a fantastic chapter, actually. It's from a product development or product management book. It's a fantastic chapter that outlines perceptual mapping techniques. So again, support material. If you need to do one of these, I want to give you all the materials that will help you create one successfully and go from there. We talk about VALS and Prism and Acorn and a couple other techniques for profiling, so those are good supplemental pieces as well. But otherwise, yeah, we're really talking about analyzing market segments and kind of thinking about how we go about doing that, and then the conceptually the idea of positioning a product. And that's what this week is all about. It's an exciting week. I would say this topic is one of the key fundamental hearts of marketing management or marketing strategy. So I hope you have fun with it. Let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, have a great day.